Right, we're going to do a quick review of percentages and how we're going to use them in this topic. So the first thing that we're going to do is learn how to find the percentage of an amount. There's only really two steps here. The first step is that we need to rewrite the percentage as a fraction or a decimal, and we need to multiply it by the amount given. So if we look at our first question, we've got 8% and the amount given is $400. The first step is to write the percentage as a fraction. So notice here that we've got the numerator is 8, and that comes from our percentage, and we've got our denominator, which is 100. Now remember that when we've got a percentage, the denominator will always be 100 when we have it represented as a fraction. We then need to multiply that by our amount, which is $400, and that gives us $32. Remember that you need to make sure that you keep your units, so we had $400 here, and we're going to need to make sure that we get $32 out here. Another thing to remember is that because this is 8%, it's less than 100%. 100% of $400 would just be $400. So it's really important to realise that 8% is going to be less than $400. So if your answer ends up so that you have something that is really big, then you know that you've made a mistake. In the second one, we've got 30% of 160 kilos. So remember here, percentage, and this is our amount. So first step is to write the percentage as a fraction. So we've got 30, which comes from our percentage, and 100, which is the denominator in every case when we have a percentage represented as a fraction. Multiplying it by the amount, and that gives us 48 kilograms. Alright, the next step is that we need to write 12.5% as a fraction. So you could write this as 12.5% over 100 in your calculator, or 12.5%. Both ways will work. Multiplying it by the 64 meters, and that gives us 8 meters. Okay, this is increasing by a given percentage. So often quantities will be increased by a percentage rather than a specific amount, and so we need to make sure that we learn how to do this. So like I said before, when we've got 100% of our value, so here we've got $200, 100% would equal $200. Okay, so the key to understanding this is that if we're increasing it by 7%, that means that we're going to have 100 plus 7%, which gives us 107%. So, key word here is that we're increasing, so that means the number is actually going to get larger. Now there's two ways that you can do that. The first way, which is, we'll just call it method 1. So we find 7% of $200. We've just learnt how to find the percentage of a quantity, so we know how to do that. We write the percentage as a fraction, multiply it by the amount. Now that gives us $14. Now we really need to make sure here that we remember that we're not done yet, because here we're increasing it by 7%. So we found 7% of the original, and so of course to increase the amount we've got to add that to our original amount. So we've got $14, which is the 7%, but we need to find out what 107% is. So to do that, we just need to add our 100%, which is the 200, and add the $14, which is the 7% we've found, which gives us $214. And so that's the first way that we can do it. The second method, which is the method that I prefer, what we're going to do is we're going to start by adding the 7 to the 100, okay, because remember we've got 7% and 100%. and add that together to give us 107%. So now we've got 107% of $200. Again, we know how to find the percentage of an amount. So we need to change it to the fraction, then we multiply it by the original amount. The amount given is 200, and when you put that into here, you get $214. So remembering that both these ways are equally valid, you can do either of them, it's just up to your preference. Alright, the cost of an item is to be increased by 15%. If it currently costs $28.80, find its new price. So you might like to pause the video now and have a go using both the methods. Okay, so let's have a look at method 1. Alright, so we're trying to find the amount that it's being increased by, which is the 15%. So we write the percentage as a fraction of the original amount and multiply them together, which gives us $4.32. So the new price is going to be the percentage increase that we found, which is the $4.32, added to the original price. So your answer should have been 33.12. Alright, method 2. Remember that we're starting off by adding the percentages together. So remember the original price is 100%, and here we're adding 15%. So that gives us 115% divided by 100 times by $28.80. And that also gives us $33.12. Okay, decreasing an amount often occurs when items are discounted. So when you go to a shop and you see that there's a sale, this is often when it occurs. So it's kind of exactly the opposite to what we've just been doing. Okay, so remembering that here we've got decrease $150 by 12%. So remember that $150 is 100%. If we're decreasing it by 12%, that means that we're actually going to be subtracting the 12%. So we can use both methods again that we've just done, except remember that instead of adding the percentage, we're going to be subtracting the percentage. So first is find the percentage as an amount. We know how to do that. 12 over 100 times by 150 equals $18. Now, that tells us how much it is going to be discounted by. So that's the discount on the item. So remember that because we're decreasing, we're going to subtract that from the original amount, not add it. And that gives us $132. Okay, so alright, we're going to do 100 minus 12% of 150, which gives us 88% of 155. And then we find the percentage of the amount, and we get $132. Alright, here's another opportunity for you to have a go. Finding the price of an item originally $66 if it is offered for sale at a 10% discount. So you can need to use both methods, both method 1 and 2. So first step that you should have tried would have been find the percentage as an amount. And that gives you $6.60. Remember that's the amount that's been discounted, so you need to subtract the amount from the original amount, and you get the discount of $66. From $66 is $59.40. So discount the method 2, discount the price, so you do 10% and you're subtracting that from 100% because it's the original amount, 90%, and we're finding 90% of an amount, which gives us $59.40. Okay, what you need to do here is you need to find the percentage of children that are at the fete. In order to do that, we need to write the children as a fraction of the total number of people that are at the fete. Okay, so we've got 160 children, 250 people at the fete. So the 160 will be the numerator, the 250 will be the denominator. And we then need to multiply it by 100%. Our answer is 64%. Okay, the next one that we need to do is we need to express 25 minutes as a percentage of 1 hour. So that means that we need to write 25 minutes as a fraction of a 1 hour first. In order to do this though, first we need to make sure that both our quantities are in the same units. So we've got one in minutes and one in hours. So probably the easiest conversion that we can do is do the 1 hour to 60 minutes. Then we need to write it as a fraction and multiply by 100%. This gives us an answer of 41 2/3%.